Hello again. Those old enough to remember when the film Life of Brian, which starred the cast of Monty Python's Flying Circus, was released, will know that it caused huge offence to many Christians. The parody of the crucifixion was felt to be particularly upsetting to religious types. Mary Whitehouse denounced it, and cinemas were picketed in protest by groups from churches and so on. At that time, around 45 years ago, Christianity was still an important enough thing in Britain that a fuss could be stirred up by making fun of it. How times have changed. A new stage version of the film is being made, but this time round nobody is at all worried what Christians might say about it. That religion is almost wholly irrelevant in modern Britain. If somebody really wanted to provoke religious controversy today, they would have to make a film or play mocking Muhammad, but I can't see that happening anytime soon. Instead, the sensibilities of modern audiences are, it is claimed, likely to be upset at the inclusion of a scene from the film in which a man wishes to be called Loretta and to have babies. In other words, he is what we would now call a trans woman rather than a deluded man, which is what everybody assumed was the case in 1979. It really is a sign of the times that a joke about a man wanting to be called by a woman's name should have become viewed as offensive and unacceptable. There is something quite delicious at seeing an old guy like John Cleese, who was once a rabid young iconoclast, raging about present trends, like some retired colonel from Tunbridge Wells. That's a sight worth seeing. Of course, what we find funny changes over the decades, just as what we find offensive also undergoes dramatic alterations. One only has to watch a so-called comedy by Shakespeare to realise this. What was evidently rib-ticklingly hilarious in Tudor times is hardly likely to raise even a smile among modern theatre-goers. In the same way, we have moved from the F word being too shocking to speak out loud to the present situation where you can scatter F words about liberally in your speech without anybody much minding. But woe betide the person who lets slip the N word in an unguarded moment. I'm fascinated by these trends, and it really looks today as though transsexualism has replaced religion as the touchiest subject around. It used to be the convention that one avoided the subject of religion at dinner parties for fear of causing unintentional offence to other guests. But these days it's mention of sex changes which is more likely to get you crossed off invitation lists rather than banging on about Jesus.